Okay, I'm going to show you how to create a extra file in the 3D editor and include it in your map, your server. So the first thing we have to do is always create a character, because if you don't have a character, you're not allowed to save it. See, I have to have at least one playable unit before I can save. So to create a character, first you need a side, which they call a center. And we just click anywheres, and you can select whichever side you want. It doesn't matter because you're going to delete the guy. And this also, one of the benefits, this gives you a guide to preview the server with, the file. Okay, and then we need a group. Click anywheres, and it's whichever center. If you created west, it's going to say center west. If you created op4, it'd be center east. And now we create a unit. We just click anywheres, and I don't know if it matters. I always set mine to playable. Seems to work. Now that I have a guy here, wherever I have him, if I hit preview, that's where I am. Okay, edited in a 2D map. If I were to, wanted to see someplace else, if I just drag him over and then I hit preview, and that's where I am. So, let's create a file right here. We'll do vehicle. Everything's a vehicle. And let's see, objects, barrel burning. Oops. Okay, there's a barrel burning preview. And I don't see it. Why? Because it's, who the hell knows, it's way far away. If I edit in 3D, then I could drag it and apparently that's not working too well. Delete object. Its fire is sitting over there. No, isn't that special? Okay, so now 3D vehicle, create here, barrel burning, and there it is, preview, and there it is. That's the difference. It's a little hard to tell exactly where you're putting stuff. I thought I dropped it right there and it was way too far away to see. Now I can preview. Now I save it, and burning barrel. Okay, now I'll go to the exit out of here. I'm all done with the 3D editor, so I can exit out of the game. And I'll 1 second. Okay, so now where I've gone is in my documents. You have Arma 2 and Arma 2 other profiles. If you're using the actual profile name that your computer is, so my computer's name is my user ID that I logged in with is Frank, but I've created another profile right here under player profile, and that's the one I play with, infected. So that would be underneath other profiles. And there's infected. Now when I created this, you'll see we got missions and MP missions and saved and user saved. MP missions is when you click on multiplayer and you click new. So you can edit files right in here too. I have an error in a file that I'd saved, so it crashed. I love how Arma crashes instead of just skipping over errors. But anyways, yeah, if you had clicked on multiplayer and then click on new, you can edit just like doing the 2D editor. It's a little bit different, but it does have some benefits. But the 3D editor is the way to go. So MP missions is in the multiplayer. Since we weren't in the multiplayer, our file is going to be right here in missions because it is not a multiplayer mission. And there it is, Burning Barrel Churnerous. It's always going to have the map that you're using as the extension. If I open it up, here's the file. I can ignore the 3D file, the ByED file, and I can open up mission.sqf. Now you'll see, here's the burning fire barrel. This is the only part that you're really going to need. you can delete everything else. So what you do, this is why when you first start a edit, the first thing you do is create your character so it's at the top. So you can come down to your first thing that you've created and just delete everything above it. If you don't delete the activate add-ons and all this stuff up here, you will have an error. It will not work. We don't need the character. We don't need the group. So delete. So now all we're left with is this stuff right here. Then we have 3 files down at the bottom. You can keep the process init commands in your 3D editor. If you do a command in here for set vehicle init, it'll run those init commands. I don't think the server will work if you have these. I usually delete them all, but you can leave process init commands in if you have some. Otherwise, it doesn't hurt to leave it in. So leave it in. And that's all you need. You delete everything except for all the blocks where they have the vehicle and then this right here. And we save it. Now, let's rename it. Now I'm going to copy this file and I'm going to go over to my server and I'm going to find where my DayZ server PBO is. If you're using DayZ, it's going to be in the Hive, and you just right click and use PBO Manager to extract it if it's not already. I already have mine right here, and create. It's already unpacked, right? So create a folder called new folder called custom. You don't have to, but it helps. Paste. There's my file. It's now in custom. Now I'm going to go to init server functions. And I'm going to go all the way to the bottom. And I am going to write exec VM Z. Let's just delete the name. Let's see, it's not in compile, it's in DayZ server custom. And it was burning barrel.sqf. Quotation, semicolon, and that's it. Now the server starts. When the server runs, it loads this file one time. Server functions gets loaded one time when the server starts. It goes through and does all this stuff, such as loading up a bunch of these functions that you need, hence the name server functions. And it's going to, when it gets to the bottom, it's going to execute the burning barrel and spawn in that burning barrel right where you placed it. And it's only going to do it once, and it's going to do it on the server, so you don't need to use any of that if is server block crap or anything like that. Save that. Init, add-ons, PBO manager, pack into PBO. There you go. Now you have your new PBO, and you can upload that to your server, whatever you need to do with it. And that's it.